Alright, just took it apart, put it back together, cleaned it up a bit, and we'll check it out. I think it's back to normal now. The lockup is, let me check it out. I think we got some blade play. Wait, no. No, we don't. Alright, it's back to being rock solid. And, yeah, that's pretty much how it was before. It wasn't like super silky smooth to the point where, you know, you could just wobble it like it's free hanging, but it was a little bit smooth enough so that, you know, if you unlocked it, the blade would snap right back into, would fall down, just by the weight of it. So it's back to normal. This is the second batoning, although this one was a whole lot more, much more demanding, and I didn't realize what was going on with the lock mechanism. I think what ended up happening was when this thing was open like this, and it was being batoned, the let me focus that real quick. The steel backspacer moved forward just a hair bit. So what ended up happening was, whenever the ball would come up to engage, it would only grip the tip of the tang where there's a cutout, you know, kind of a rectangular cutout so that the, you know, ball can go in. That was pretty much engaging barely on the tip. So whenever you would try to put any kind of force down, the blade would of course disengage, as you guys saw in the batoning video. But it's back to normal. Let me check the edge. There's still a very nice tip, very sharp. I will say though that the knife has lost its edge. As far as, you know, super fine hair raising sharp, it's still sharp, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure this will go through paper with no issues, but it has lost its you know, shaving sharp edge, and that can easily be taken care of with just a little bit of honing on the edge, or maybe a little bit of stropping could probably get that razor sharpness back, although it won't last very long. That's the bad thing about people who use strops to maintain an edge. It doesn't last that long. It doesn't last anywhere near as long as actually putting that bead grind on it. Simply because what you're doing with the strop is that you're changing the geometry microscopically, and essentially what you're doing is kind of blunting the tip. That's what's going to happen. You know, once you strop it once, it's good. Second time, it's fine. I found that after maybe about the fourth time that you need to strop, I found that you really need to go back in there and hone the edge back. Not so much strop it, but hone it with some abrasive, whether that's sandpaper or bench stones or whatnot, or a Spyderco sharp maker like I use, simply because it's a lot easier. It is a lot easier, actually. And for some of the super steels like M390, I don't really have a choice because my stones get eaten up. But yeah. The one thing about this knife, though, and this is the second time, like I said, this is the second test I've done for batoning or like hard use. If this were ever to, you know, loosen up a bit and, like, you know, no longer locks up, which could happen, which could very well happen. Sorry about that. Locked up. Camera locked up a bit. Which could very well happen, you know, loosen up. It's going to be very hard for you to be out in the field and take this apart compared to, say, a frame lock. Say that you're using a frame lock and the freaking bar bends on you. You can always take it apart in the field, Not have to worry about 10 different bunch of little parts going everywhere, spraying a little ball, cage ball bearing, the back spacer, the screws, etc. You don't have to worry about that too much compared to to a frame like I think is going to be a little bit easier to service. If it gets dirty, you just throw water on it. If it gets dusty or there's like a lot of dirt inside, or maybe you got some shit on the lock, you can always just wash it out with water. With this particular model, because of the cage ball bearing and everything like that, it's going to be a little bit difficult to clean out. You would have to take it apart. It's going to be harder to maintain this on the field. In my opinion, anyways. But at the same time, it's kind of an easy takedown, since it's kind of an easy takedown. Sorry about that. It is kind of an easy takedown because all you really have to do is remove 3 screws and then you pop one of the scales off. But if you have to go further than that, I wouldn't advise that on the field, at least not without a hard surface. But yeah, knife is back to normal.